Hello and good evening. Welcome to the, I guess the second ninth episode of the Circles of Trust podcast. We had recorded an episode 9 3 months ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
And I wasn't super happy with how it turned out because I sucked. So we're redoing it now that I'm in better health and spirits. Mostly better health. Kinda better health.
That's good. That's great. I'm glad to have you back.
I'm glad
you were struggling for a minute.
I mean, it hasn't really stopped. I've just gotten better at lying about it. So
okay,
here we are.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, what have you been up to?
Man, so since the last recording that we did, it's been a lot. You know, we went through Christmas.
Yep.
Did we do it before Thanksgiving? Also,
we may have.
Good Lord.
It was a while back.
Good Lord. So went through Thanksgiving, made it through Christmas.
Yep.
I went to CES.
Yeah.
So the job flew me out to Vegas for that. That was awesome. I had an awesome experience. I will have to say this though. If you aren't prepared to walk, that is not the place for you to go. Like we were talking about at my job, other departments that could possibly want to go. And yeah, like everybody is like, no, I don't like to walk a lot.
Once they find out what the actual like physical requirement is,
yeah,
they lose interest.
Yeah, like
yeah, I could see that.
This time around for me, since I knew more about what to expect,
right?
Because when I went in 2019, I didn't know it was my first time. Struggling.
Yeah.
I did like 50, 60,000 steps a day.
That's a lot of walking.
Dude, I was burned out. This time, I had a better plan. And I cut it down to like 20,000, maybe 30,000 steps a day. If I wanted to do some extra sightseeing type stuff.
For con work, for reference, even being my size, I averaged around like anywhere between 12 and 18,000 steps a day over the course of 3 days. Like every day was between those three. So you're basically doing about double that on the regular, dude, for the same period of time.
It's hardcore because
it's a massive space.
It is. And where there's 3 different venues. So you have the Aria, it's the Las Vegas Convention Center. They have it there.
Right.
Then they have a bulk of it in the bulk of it is in the Venetian, and then the Aria has stuff too. So you have 3 different places to go. I only went to 2 because the third one, it didn't have anything that was relevant to me.
What did it have?
They have lots of conference rooms and things that you have to be a member of whatever to get into.
Gotcha.
So I couldn't really do anything there. But the Venetian is always my favorite one because of the people who go there. Like Kohler is there, Moen is there, places, companies like that are there. And the big gaming section is there too. Like all the cool gaming tech is in the Venetian.
There was a lot of gaming tech at CES. I thought it was more like industrial.
Nah, man, they have a whole gaming section. Like they had, just as a quick example, and they have a whole Microsoft booth. And then they have like Asus had a booth. It's like all these computer companies, but the cool stuff is you get to try out a lot of the tech. So they had this vest that you wear that gives you the feedback when you're playing.
Feedback.
And then they had a shirt. Like they got it down that it's a shirt that you can wear. And it has,
that's nuts.
It's a shirt, like you can get a long sleeve one or you can get a short sleeve one. And it's a little thicker. You notice that it's a little thicker, but you can feel different points instead of just like big chunks. It's like little fine points, like getting shot with stuff. It's fantastic.
How close are we to a pair of pants that jerks me off while I play? How many years?
Well, funny that you mentioned that. There was a whole sex toy section.
I'd believe it.
Now that I didn't go to because of time. Like I just didn't have enough time. Like I had meetings with a lot of companies because that's the thing.
Right.
Before you even go, they sign you, like you go on to the site and you can say, hey, I want my information to be out there for companies to reach out to me. So they reach out to me and we schedule appointments and then I go see these people and it's cool.
To be clear, that's like 65% of the reason you actually go is to get like the pitches and
we
get actual like logistic information from these companies.
Yes, my job sends me out there to bring back ideas for new technologies that we can put.
Right. So it's not just you going out and scouting individual technologies. It's more you networking with the companies that are at CES.
Yes. And then if there's something cool that we can use, usually there's more than one company that does it. That's like for instance, they have the little robotic lawnmowers that can, if you just sit it out in your yard, it maps your yard and it just cuts your yard.
It's a Roomba for your yard.
Yep. So there were like 3 or 4 different versions of that. So
is that something that
we looked at it? We don't know, since we have a landscaping crew,
right?
And then we contract out for other stuff too. I don't know if that's necessarily for us, but I think the toilets, like the smart toilets, stuff like that, will help for our residents.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
I had to do a presentation when I got back to my boss, right? So, I did the Google Slides. It was nice. And then he liked it so much, he made me do it in front of like the CFO and other people and COO.
And that's not the first time you've been asked to make that kind of presentation, right?
No, I have to do it all the time.
That's badass.
So we are looking into certain ones and I'm waiting for responses back from certain companies. So it's fun. CES is amazing. Like it's been a long time coming though, because 17 years in retail, you just get abused, man. So this is like the first job that any skills that I have that I can display, people like it and want more of it, instead of, you could do that skill, we're gonna make you do it 24/7 and not give you anything for it, and we're still gonna treat you like crap.
Yeah
At least I get treated nice. They sent me out there. Like,
that cannot be understated. That's not an
amazing.
Inexpensive convention. It's not an inexpensive flight.
Nope.
And it's not an inexpensive accommodation.
Nope. It was amazing. And I stayed in the MGM Grand. So I chose that hotel because it's on the line for the monorail. Last time I stayed at Planet Hollywood and I had to walk 2 hotels down to get to the closest stop, which was,
how I feel awful about walking in general. Not my favorite.
I don't think you would have. No. You wouldn't have liked that at all. But it was fun. So that's really cool. That's the big thing that's happened since last time.
What was your favorite piece of tech that you saw? Not necessarily useful for your job, but what was the thing you saw and you're like, that's dope as shit. Like, the future is now.
Let's see. Dope tech that I saw. I saw so many things. I think the autonomous driving is absolutely insane.
It makes me very nervous, and I'll explain why. I had no feelings on autonomous driving until recently. I got into someone's car and they took their hands off the wheel on the highway and the car started driving itself. There was no warning. There was like, hey, as a heads up. I feel like it's a new enough technology to be like, hey, everybody doing okay back there? Like, he was fully just like, I'm just going to pull out my phone and just start dicking around while my car drives itself on the highway. I was freaked the fuck out.
I mean, yes.
It's cool, but I was like, damn, like, easing me into that just the tiniest bit would have been really neat.
Like, the technology they have now is insane. So just as a quick example, I don't want to spend too much time because we got other stuff to talk about, but there's a company, Waymo. You probably heard Waymo. Mm-hmm. So Waymo does autonomous driving.
Right.
They have a long haul truck.
Like an 18-wheeler kind of thing? Okay.
So it has all the cameras and stuff all over it. And that thing, so the way they explained it to me is that, so if you're in a city, you would have a driver start out first to get through the city.
Okay.
Because it's not, those big trucks are not city ready yet.
Right.
So you get it through the city, and on those long straightaways and, maybe a curve here and there, like that'll last like maybe 24 hours of straight driving, it just does it itself. It gets to like a refuel station. Well, the charging station, a human will charge it up. When it's done, it goes on by itself. And you don't need a human to fall asleep behind the wheel or be away from their family for weeks at a time.
Yeah.
It's cool. And they have like little cars that go around the cities that will just pick you up. So you'll go for like an Uber or whatever. Dude, and then a car just drives up.
The thought of that. It's so sick.
It's cool.
Think about every time you've gotten in the back of a taxi or an Uber, and think about how much you've regretted that human contact. Just immediately visceral reaction. This was a fucking mistake, and I want out.
Yeah. So we're looking at like this right here made me feel like I'm the shit.
Right.
So when I presented this stuff, they were like, "We want this. Like, you need to keep in contact with this company to see if they will have like, because they have little cars that could do closed circuit stuff." So it's geofence.
Like golf carts and stuff.
Just small cars. So if you are in a densely compact city, they have a geofence around the area that car can go and transport people. So we're trying to get something like that for our residents.
That's what I was,
Because we don't have as much staff. Like the staffing in our transportation department isn't that great anymore. So we would need to take from one building to the next, people who can't walk that distance.
So if you could get a small fleet of like 10 or so cars.
We had a test one come to the job, and people got to get in it and ride around. There was no driver in there. People liked it. Some people were freaked out.
I was going to say
that generation.
Knowing your clientele.
Oh my God.
That's
but
a tough sell.
They seriously want to do that. So if I can make that happen, like we did with the Timmy robots.
That's one more thing you can put your name next to.
Bruh.
I'm so proud of you. That's so sick.
So I'm excited, but that just the experience of CES for a dude like me that loves consumer electronics, like that's what I was raised in. It's so good. Say,
I don't know anyone who is more invested in consumer electronics than you. I genuinely don't know a single person who's like as much of an advocate for consumer electronics.
It was so much fun, and you're there with other nerds.
Yeah.
So like, you pick out, like, I was taking pictures with my phone, and they were like, somebody will just walk up and say, "Hey, how you like that Pixel, man? How you like?" And I'm like, most people don't ever notice. Yep. Pixels are distinctive because they have the bar on the back, but the average person doesn't know any of that stuff.
Is it an iPhone or is it an Android? And
that's it. That's it. So just to be around people that
give a shit,
love it like I do, was really cool. And I got to meet a YouTuber that I follow also. So
I saw that.
That's pretty cool.
That was very cool.
It was and she's so nice. And like, it wasn't like, oh God, somebody's talking to me. It was like, hey. And then, I'm like, I don't want to take up any of your time because I know you got stuff to do. She was like, no, it's fine. And then she just kept talking. I was like, oh, okay. This is cool.
That's incredibly rad. Would you like to give her a shout out?
You know what? That's fine.
Because I'm not familiar with her content. You
so
picture.
The person, look at the camera. So the person that I saw was Shannon Morse. She has a YouTube channel. She does tech reviews and software reviews and things of that nature. So I followed her. Maybe I've been following her for a couple years now. The reason I started following her is because I looked up, I think it was about some earbuds that I was thinking about buying, and her video showed up first. This was like years ago. So ever since then, I've been following her, and her name is Shannon Morse. Her, she does a little show called Morse Code, and she's really cool. And she's just a down to earth person, real nice. She was rolling solo like I was. I was, doing content for the job and my little channel also.
Right.
So she was like, it's rough carrying all this stuff and doing all this work yourself. I was like, yeah, I'm doing the same for work and for like side hustle. Well, not even really side hustle, but a hobby type stuff. Can't really
classify it as a hustle.
It's not really a
nobody's
hustle.
Being hustled. There's not a big cash.
Yeah, it's none of that yet.
It's for shits and giggles.
But it was really cool to meet someone like that. Last time in 2019, I met two YouTubers that I follow. But I didn't have as much time with them because they had a crew with them because they are bigger YouTubers. Big, yeah. So that was pretty cool.
That's so cool though. Like to meet a YouTuber that like yeah, not to be weird, but it feels like a lot more intimate when it's just like one person like running their own thing and being like, hey, like I've seen your stuff and I think you have really cool opinions and you've been really helpful to me. Like getting to reach out to someone on that personal level, I hope it made a good impression on her, because that's if it were me, like for anything that I do, my Twitch streaming or this, if someone was like, hey, that's kind of a cool thing that you do, I'd be like, fucking what? We get to talk about the what the fuck? But yeah, no, that's so cool. I'll make sure that we put a link to her channel down in the description on the bottom, because that sounds cool. I haven't really checked out her content, but I should.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool to see someone else. You know, it's always cool to see a celebrity, but for me, YouTubers are a different type of celebrity.
Yes.
Because you are with them and only them when you watch their stuff. You know, it's not like a movie star where it's a crew of people.
Yes.
It's usually just them and a freaking camera. So, and I know how much time and effort it takes to just do the smallest, shortest video.
Smallest of things.
So I get it. And she was just really, really cool. And she was talking about the Microsoft, because we were in the Microsoft booth when I met her. And it was just like, she was like, I mean, yeah, these look the same. I was like, yeah, they look identical to last year's stuff. She said, that's the bad thing about tech. Like, it's the small things. But then when you make content about it, people want to know the differences. You got to know. It's like there really is no difference. Yeah. And then your video ends up being super short or not detailed enough, and
because you've already covered that ground.
Yeah,
you don't want to retread the same.
So we talked about little stuff like that. So it was really cool. She was
so sick.
She was awesome. She was awesome. She did not have to like talk to me at all. She could have just said, yeah, I'm gonna dip out. But she did.
It's really rad that she like just took the time out of her day and obviously her schedule, because it's a huge event. You've got so much going on.
Yep.
Just to be like, hey, I appreciate you watching my shit. Let's shoot the breeze about the stuff that we both like.
It was so cool. And I think I saw a couple other people that I like. So, you know, Linus Tech Tips. There was some, I could have sworn it was like two dudes that are in his crew that I see them do. I saw them like multiple times, but I didn't go talk to them. I was like, they don't seem as friendly as she did.
And different people interact with their internet fame differently. It's different for all kinds of people.
Yes.
I'll just say it's always nice to see like a content creator who has time for individuals who aren't creepy psychopaths.
Yeah.
Because obviously a lot of people interacting with anyone, any sort of vestige of celebrity, could be a psycho.
Yeah. And she took a picture with me. So that's cool too. And those other dudes, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to say anything to them.
That's the only recorded incident of you ever talking to a woman ever. That's the only one. The fact she took a picture with you, that's the only proof that we have that you've ever spoken to a woman.
Yep, that's it.
Yep. No other
no other way.
No other historical evidence.
There is one, and I have proof, so that's good.
Yay. We'll put that on the wall.
That's good. But I really wish I could bring other people to experience CES.
Yeah, if you could bring someone, who would you bring? Because you'd have to have someone who has that same energy for it that you do. But your buddy out in California?
Yes. He's not into consumer electronics like I am.
Gotcha. Okay. I know that you've talked about him in relation to electronics before. I thought he was kind of the same way that you were, but it's more gaming, I'm guessing.
Yeah. He has his products that he sticks to. Like,
gotcha.
You know, he loves Sony, so Sony products are where he goes.
Okay.
So
you'd need to find someone who's like got this broad.
That's willing to look at it. And that's a good question. I don't know who I would actually take that is willing to walk a shit ton and be there with sweaty nerds all day. Well, okay. Well, yeah. I guess that would be a good one. Well, she's the queen of conventions.
Yeah.
So she would.
I mean, she would just be like, "It's going to Vegas."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
another convention.
You're right. You are right.
And she loves technology. I mean, that's what she goes to school for now.
Yeah, you're
well,
right. Yeah, she would
that's
be
her
perfect.
Job, not goes to school for.
Yep, she would be perfect for that, and she's willing to walk a shit ton.
She is. I don't know why she married me, because I'm not willing to walk at all. I wish they would take my legs already and replace them with wheels.
God, man.
Stairs.
It's so much walking. I remember just briefly, I was going to see Cirque du Soleil because I saw Cirque du Soleil out there at the Bellagio. And I'm staying at the MGM, and the Bellagio is like literally across the, like I could see it from,
wow.
But in Vegas, you can't just cross the street. You have to go across the big ass catwalks that go across. So I'm like, well, which one do I go to? Because I'm like equidistant between the two. So I go to the one to the left, and it's so much like the walking distance just to go down, up and around, down, around the little, like it's ridiculous. But it was awesome because I got to see other stuff on my way there. So it was all right.
That is sick as hell. But
I love it. Vegas is amazing.
I refuse to use the muscles in my legs. I refuse.
God.
I'll never walk again.
Dog,
my choice.
You have to walk in Vegas, man.
Someone make hoverboards faster.
Like you can't.
I want the Jabba the Hutt skiff. I want that thing that he like pedals himself around on. That's
because I don't think you can use scooters on the strip because there's too many people.
I was gonna say not just that, but like the terrain. For it.
But that was the start of the big things in 2023. So going to Vegas and doing that, seeing Cirque du Soleil, and I mean Cirque du Soleil is amazing. If people out there, if y'all haven't been to a Cirque du Soleil show, you need to go at least once in your life. It's absolutely amazing.
I haven't been.
It's amazing. They even come here locally. So
yeah, I know they've been in town a bunch of times. I just for whatever reason I never,
it's excellent.
Don't do things.
You need to start.
I don't know if I can help it.
You need to start.
That's not true. We've done a ton of shit. I
mean, I know Tori has done a ton of shit.
Yeah, I mean that's true. She always does more stuff than me. But we went to a whiskey place.
Okay.
Up in Williamsburg. That was great. That was 2 weeks ago, and I've almost smashed that entire bottle. Let's see. Oh, wait. What else other than my crippling alcoholism have I done? I found a way to make Elden Ring fun.
What?
Make it into another game. Make it into a game that's not Elden Ring. So all I had to do to make Elden Ring fun was randomize every monster in the game and randomize every drop in the game, and then that was it. So basically all I changed was everything, and then Elden Ring was fun.
Okay.
So there's the big soul streamer on Twitch is Lobos Jr. And he's got a really storied career. He used to work for I think Activision as a level designer or something.
Oh, damn. Yeah,
or maybe it was BioWare.
That's big time.
He did big video game shit. But he's a massive soul streamer, and he always does these crazy challenge runs because he's insanely good at the game because of how long he's played it. So it's Elden Ring. All the enemies are randomized. All their health is increased. There's double the amount of enemies and bosses.
God damn.
So you're never fighting one enemy. You're always fighting multiples. And then he added in a Diablo randomized loot mod. And so I stole that idea and just did it myself. And it was great. I beat the whole fucking game. I sat down, crushed out in 40, 50 hours while I had COVID. Because not like I had anything else to do.
Don't have anything else to do.
And it was incredible. It was a lot of fun. And I was like, man, the only thing you have to do to make Elden Ring fun is make it not Elden Ring. It's crazy. All
Every
you gotta do is
time.
just play a different game.
Every time I see like a top 10 list,
It's always up there.
Elden Ring is always there.
Elden Ring is the best game ever. If you play Elden Ring, you're gonna grow 14 inches height and girth.
It's like they love that
Elden Ring.
game
like,
so much.
This game is groundbreaking, revolutionary. It has redefined the open world genre. Like,
people love that game, and I mean, I can honestly see why.
yeah, I get it. Just disagree.
That's fair.
Dark Souls 2 is just better empirically.
That's fair. They were saying that Hogwarts Legacy is the only game that could probably dethrone Elden Ring.
Look, I watched someone streaming Hogwarts Legacy. Let's address the elephant in the room. I don't think that playing Hogwarts Legacy makes you a bad person.
It does not.
I think agreeing with J.K. Rowling's viewpoints makes you a bad person. And I think that those two things can be separate.
Yeah, they should be separate.
J.K. Rowling has more money than God. And I
don't think she did anything for this game. Like, they just...
I mean, yeah, they used her prop.
Yeah, and that's it.
I don't think she's going to get residuals from it, but yeah.
But it's not like she went into the studio and was like, okay, I need you to put this into the game.
Yeah, I want you to make sure that there's no girls
like,
ever. No, so I watched someone playing Hogwarts Legacy, and all I could think to myself was, this is the most dog shit boring game I've ever seen in my life. Ever. It looked like trash. They were like, do you remember, I'm sure you do, the era of like PlayStation 2 and Xbox One games that were all licensed movie video games? The best ones were the Lord of the Rings.
They were awesome.
They fucking ruled. But the other ones that were dog shit that were just like, look, it's character you love. Mm-hmm. And they're collecting thing you like. Mm-hmm. Right? It's just that. It's just you running around Hogwarts and you're like, ooh, I got a Spiffy Wuffet. It's this new collectible. Look, put it in. I've got one of 52 for this wing of Hogwarts. And it's like, I wanted, it looks so fucking bad.
Okay, so.
Someone out there loves this game. Maybe multiple people.
There's a lot of people that like it and love it.
They're wrong. And that's fine.
So
they're wrong.
I've played it. Wrong. I have it on my PS5.
How boring is it?
So I don't want to get into it. Like, I've done the first couple of hours into it. So I had to stop because I had also purchased Evil West and I wanted to play through that because that's like old school 360.
Yeah.
You have objectives. You just go through linear gameplay. You fight a bunch of enemies. They tell you a little bit of a story. You gun stuff down and then you're done. I love games like that. Yeah. So I had to play that game first. So I'm almost done with that. But the first couple of hours that I played of Hogwarts, I see the appeal and I'm going to continue to play it because you literally get to do whatever the hell you want to do.
As long as that's collecting spliffy wuffets,
but you don't have
different wings of Hogwarts.
You don't have to collect those things, though.
But that's the game. That's it. You can do anything you want as long as it's collecting spliffy wuffets in wings of Hogwarts.
You do not have to do that.
How many spells have you learned?
I haven't gotten that far into it yet. Because, that game is like infinite. Like, it's made to be played literally forever. Because you have the whole landscape to play around. You can fly on your broom and you can do all types of shit there. Like, it's if you were in the Harry Potter universe doing random shit. And fighting enemies, and you can learn evil spells too, because that's what I want to do.
Right, the forbidden.
I want to do those. 100%.
So the 2 hours of gameplay that I watched, it was a dude walking around solving puzzle doors, and then he got into the kitchens and talked to the house elves, and then he talked to Nearly Headless Nick, who wanted him to engage in some sort of like trickery where he like stole a piece of spoiled roast beef, and I was like, okay, when does the fun start?
So, okay. All right. So the reason I have this game. So, on the PS5, you can share consoles. Like, two people can share games and stuff. So I share it with friends of mine and they, the wife loves Harry Potter. She loves all the books, loves all everything. Like, she's all about it. Wears the shirts, socks, everything. She is having an absolute blast with it because she's in the universe.
She's in it.
She's in it.
She's in the shit. The sunken cost fallacy. Too much of her life has gone to Hogwarts to not enjoy this game.
And my buddy, he is enjoying it just because he likes it. Like, when you go to collection, it's like, oh yeah, or you get he's building his skill tree. Like, his skill tree is what he's focusing on, so he can do the spells and like kill shit instantly.
He wants to get all the spliffy waffets in the different wings of Hogwarts. That's what he signed up for.
Like, I can't pass any judgment yet. I haven't played enough. The little bit that I did play, it actually was kind of fun.
I think you need to lower your standards for being a games journalist. You can absolutely make sweeping and broad assumptions about games after barely playing them.
I try not to.
That's all I do.
I try not to. I can only speak to Evil West because I've gotten deep into that. It's fun. It's linear. You know, it's a few little secrets here and there. And I mean, it's old school gameplay, man. Old school gameplay, just like 360 PS3 era type shit. And I love it. But Hogwarts, that's the new shit, man. Everybody's loving that game. And if you stream it, you're a bad person. All at the same time. So it's controversy and people loving it all at the same time.
Well, I'm very happy for myself that I will never have to make any sort of moral dilemmas about that, because I'm not gonna fucking play the game.
Well, you're lucky that I don't have the disc, because you know what? It doesn't matter. I'll come over, like, whenever you get your PS5, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna sign in as myself on yours, download the 168 gigs and I'm just gonna leave it for you to play.
This is a deep cut reference to the I might have known DV for, I don't know, maybe 6 months at this point. But I went to go hang out at his house, and I was like, you know what you would love to just check out? How about The Witcher 3? And he was like, sure, I guess. So I brought The Witcher 3 discs over, downloaded the 100 or so gigs the game is, played it for about 15 minutes, and then just left it there for him. Just, this is for you.
Oh my God.
That was good times.
And I couldn't, it's not like I could play it because I needed the disc to play it.
It was just,
so I couldn't even just dick around with it while you weren't there. I
fully just on your hard drive for no reason.
It was just there. But look, everybody loves this game. I'm gonna get deeper into it and see how it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have some sort of fun with it.
I don't mind people liking things. I just like to poke fun at like the thing that everyone likes.
I mean, that's fair.
Do I think that Elden Ring is really a bad game? Yes.
Yes, I know you do.
Categorically. Was Sekiro a mistake? Yes. Hogwarts Legacy, if people are having fun, great. If people aren't having fun, also great. Like what you like.
Yeah, and the dude looks just like me too. Like, you know, when you create your character, like, he looks just
I thought there was like a standard character that looked just like you, and I was like,
no, you really? Choose things. Okay, gotcha. You choose the way you look, and he does look just like me. I can't even doubt that. I wish you could change the height though, because I'm not very tall, so it looks weird when it's my face.
But like a 6 foot tall dude,
it looks weird. 100%. It looks weird, but you should give it a shot. Get it on PC, man. You got this big rig right here, dog. Get it.
This is solely for playing games from 14 years ago. Okay,
come on, man.
That's what this largely is here for.
Get the Hogwarts.
I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft recently. Came out in 2002.
People still rock that shit, man.
Well, I'm playing on a private server.
Oh, okay.
Because you know, I don't support breast milk stealers.
Gotcha. Well, before we get down the rabbit hole, I want to know, you've been watching a lot of movies lately.
Yeah.
And this is rare for you. So I'm excited to hear all of this.
So what happened is, while I'm working, I know David Lynch has very strong opinions on whether or not you can actually watch movies on your phone. You didn't technically watch it. And that's
I kind of agree with him, but
I mean,
you know,
I'm not. I don't even disagree. I'm just saying that for me, for how casual of a movie watcher that I am,
yeah, I gotcha.
watching it out of the corner of my eye on my phone screen, perfectly fine. So I'll just set it up while I'm working, scanning documents, doing what I do. And I've watched so many movies in the past 4 months.
It's amazing.
I've watched all the Hannibal movies. So Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Rising, and Hannibal.
Did you see Manhunter?
Man, was that the? Which one?
I think that's like technically, like in chronological order, that is the first one. Then you go into Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, I thought
that happens before.
Hannibal,
actually, Hannibal. It's Manhunter, Hannibal, then Silence of the Lambs. I'm sorry,
but Hannibal Rising is like the one where he's a kid.
Nobody cares about that one.
Man, it wasn't very good.
Don't nobody count that one.
They were like, this man is also a samurai. And
yeah, nobody counts that one.
It's kind of weird. Hey, Mufasa. All right, cat break. Wow.
Yeah, nobody counts that one. But.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Okay. So I watched 3 Hannibal movies. I watched Silence of the Lambs. I watched the one where he's in Italy for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched Hannibal Rising. I watched the original Japanese Godzilla, which I was blown the fuck away.
Dude, when you typed that to me, I seriously thought you were talking about the Matthew Broderick one. I was like, what?
No. Okay, so have you seen the original Japanese Godzilla?
My mother, I was raised in a household that's what she watched all the time. It used to come on TV all the time.
Was it the original Japanese or was it the one with the American dude?
No, it's the Japanese one that had subtitles and everything.
Okay.
Like 1954 or some shit like that.
Because I tried to explain it to my dad and I was like, this movie fuck. He was like, oh, the one with like, well, I forget what the guy's name is.
Yeah, I remember his name.
It's this version. I was like, no. There are 0 white people in this version.
Yeah, my mom loves Godzilla. So I grew up in a household watching all of those movies, even the terrible ones, like when Godzuki came in there, Mecha Godzilla, and Mothra.
My journey was a little weird. I watched Destroy All Monsters first.
Okay.
Which is the like anthology one that has all the monsters, and it's like, oh, fucking space people made out of rocks are here to control the monsters. Like, very bizarre. And then YouTube recommended every Godzilla movie that's ever been made on YouTube for free to me. And I was like, okay, let's go back to the beginning. Let's see how bad it was in the beginning. And then I watched it and I was like crying and like emotionally impacted. I was like, what the fuck is going on? This wasn't what I expected at all. I thought it was going to be a goofy rubber suit. And it was like, no.
Nah, man.
It's like a strong anti-nuclear, anti-war, environmentally conscious message.
But what's crazy is that's how a lot of things start. They start with a actual real message, and then it just gets convoluted and it turns into
what if we made money?
Yep. That's pretty much what it is.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I watched Gattaca.
Gattaca's good.
I watched Oh Brother Where Art Thou? I mean, it wasn't like I hadn't seen that before. I just rewatched Oh Brother.
One of my favorites, and the music is superb.
So I've seen that movie multiple times. 2 things I fully did not know about the movie. One, by the Coen brothers. Just didn't register for me.
For me, you could just tell by the dialogue.
Really?
The dialogue, like the Coens have, just like Quentin Tarantino, they have certain styles of dialogue within it.
And then the other one was that it was based on the Odyssey.
Yep.
And being a huge Greek mythology nerd, I was like, how did I never make any of these connections? And then when I watched it knowing that, I was like, oh, fuck me. The whole thing is...
And it's so good. All the songs.
The music is phenomenal.
It's so good. It's funny.
Very funny.
The acting was great. It's just a great movie.
Thought you was
it's so good.
What?
It's so good.
Yeah, phenomenal. What else did I watch? I've watched so many movies. Watched RoboCop, which I had never seen before. Highly censored, hilarious.
Yeah, the censored version.
Censored to the point of hilarity. Like, yeah. My big takeaway from RoboCop is I bought that for $1.
So good. So good. The scene I remember as a kid when I watched RoboCop, and you get to see Alex Murphy get blown to bits, like, you know, when they first like just shot him all up.
Rail him.
It was traumatizing. Like, I've seen hella violence before, but it's usually like almost funny. That was not funny.
Right.
It was not funny. It was super sad. So that kind of messed me up. But then when he comes back as RoboCop, I'm like, well, I guess it was worth it. But then as I get older, I'm like, nah, that shit wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
His whole life is like not the same. It's
funny,
gone.
like when you're younger, like the message is like, yeah, RoboCop. And then you get older, you're like, ooh.
Yeah. You like, yeah, get shot and become RoboCop. No, that shit's terrible.
It's actually not great.
That shit's terrible. It's terrible.
I'm gonna try and remember like 2 or 3 more movies that I've watched, but there's one movie that I hadn't seen since I was like 11 that we have to talk about.
Okay.
You got to remind me about that one.
Okay.
God damn it! What were the other movies that I saw that were like good? They were older movies that I saw Das Boot. Because people on Reddit recommended it as being like a really good war movie, and I was like, oh. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I've only seen that once.
Yeah, it's not one I'd rewatch.
Yeah,
but it was
I've
good.
only seen it once.
Watched Honorable Men yesterday, actually.
I don't think I've seen that.
Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr. following the true story of Navy master diver Carl.
The diver dude? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have I seen that though? Because he won an Oscar for that. I think he won an Oscar for that.
Probably.
Yeah, I think Cuba.
I
think he won an Oscar for that, but I don't know if I've actually watched it. I don't know. I can't remember if I have or not.
Yeah, YouTube, right? It's free on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
That's about it for movies. But
yeah,
we gotta talk. Okay, so my brother Corwin sends me a text message, and he goes, out of the blue. We had not been talking about it. He goes, do you remember the movie The King's Guard? And I said, do I? Of course I remember The King's Guard. We watched the shit out of that movie. So
I don't know if I've seen that.
You have never, I guarantee you, it's a movie you've never seen. So nobody's seen this movie except for me, my brother, and our childhood friends. Because what we would do is we'd go to Hollywood Video, and we'd rent this DVD for 99 cents.
Hollywood Video, baby.
And we would watch it back to back to back to back to back like 40 times because it was the best thing that had ever been made. So I'm not like I like to watch bad movies guy. Mm-hmm. This is my holy grail of bad movies. It's because it's the bad movie that was made for me specifically.
Okay.
So the whole thing is bad. Just absolute trash. Corwin described it best as it looks like someone basically rented out costumes from a Ren Fair for a weekend and then made a movie with it. Very accurate.
So like the modern day Marvel movies.
Yeah. It's very similar to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse.
Yes, we got it in there, baby.
There's a lot of similarities, mostly in the dog shit wooden acting, which we're going to talk about. I'm going to throw out some names. How about Ron Perlman?
Oh, you know it's gonna be kind of bad if he's in it.
How about Keith Roberts?
Oh, damn.
Okay, that's it. That's all the names I recognize from this movie because everyone else is a weekend Renaissance reenactor.
That sounds tasty. I might have to check that one out.
The briefest of synopses. This follows a musketeer Renaissance era group of Kingsguard. Okay, hence the name The Kingsguard. Except they're not guarding the king; they're guarding the princess. The princess is going to be married off to some nobleman in another country for some sort of alliance. They're helping her get her dowry to the location safely. That's how the movie, after a very brief, shitty introduction, opens up.
Yeah.
First thing you notice, it's a horse-drawn cart. There's no horses. There's just a man running with the cart. 2 men running with the cart, right? No horses. They mention horses. They're like, oh, we had to leave the horses behiand.
They probably couldn't afford any horses.
There's no horses in this movie. There's not a fucking horse anywhere.
Oh, that sounds great.
So you're introduced beat by beat to each member of the Kingsguard. They are systematically ambushed by a bandit. They will have shitty one-liners and the worst choreography you've ever seen in the stiffest, most open, just set camera angle. They will dispatch their attackers and they'll be like, "Oh, for the King's Guard," and then they'll run away. So they're running away from this like horde of bandits. There's no words to fully describe how bad this is. No, there are. A children's play. You know how like they have like those shitty like wooden backdrops that come up to about this high? Mm-hmm. There's a house made out of those. Sitting in the middle of like a plain. They're like, "That's where we'll make our stand." And the rest of the movie takes place there or in a thicket next to it.
Bro, that budget must have been zero.
Less than zero. So you've got your ensemble cast of just every dog shit stereotype. You've got the leader of the King's Guard, the young orphan boy who ended up being like a great warrior, and now he's like the head of the King's Guard, and suddenly has developed hots with the princess, even though they've known each other for fucking years. They finally find their chemistry here on the road. You've got old Sean Connery wannabe, who is the instructor to the King's Guard. You have Irish woman, who is not a member of the King's Guard, but hangs out with them all the time and is helping them. Turns out she's the daughter of the only other Scottish person there. She's my daughter, right? Yes. All the dialogue is ADR, like 75% of it fully ADR, and it's bad, jarringly, horrifically bad. There is another person on the King's Guard. He is the black man.
I was gonna ask, was there at least a black dude in there?
His character arc is he has a hat, hates the hat. That's the only line of dialogue he says the first 7 times you see him. "I hate this hat," but it's horribly ADR because they did not want to use this man's voice.
Yeah.
"I hate this hat." Shitty lip sync, shitty ADR. I'm getting too far afield. The point is, they all get in this house and they're like, "Hey, the bandits are going to attack us. We need to do our special strategy."
Oh, yeah.
It's called the Tiger Claw. Okay?
Yeah.
They send 3 people out, one at a time, past the enemy lines just to run away. Just run away. And then they run back and they kill 1 or 2 guys on the way back. And that's the Tiger Claw. That's the middle 40 minutes of the movie. The movie is 1 hour and 10 minutes long. The middle 40.
It's only 1 hour and 10 minutes. Yes. That budget definitely was small.
So it's just like one, and like I can't stress this enough. Everything happens the same way. There's never a variation. They're like, "It's your turn to go." King's Guard runs out, gets shot at, drops to the ground, stands up, runs to the tree line. Okay, next one comes out. And it's the exact same 3 times. Happens. Ron Perlman and Keith Roberts are the bad guys. So Ron Perlman is the leader of the bandits, and Keith Roberts is the former head of the King's Guard who left because he wanted to marry the princess, and he got kicked out of the kingdom, and he's a bad guy. And he keeps trying to warn Ron Perlman about the fucking Tiger Claw. He's like, "Dude, they have this tactic called the Tiger Claw, and it's fucking crazy, and like you're gonna fall for it and die." And you just charge the encampment. There are 60 bandits. There are 7 people in this house. And he's like, "No, we must hold back our forces." It's what the hell? You have to watch it. It's free on Amazon Prime. I highly recommend it to everyone. It's the worst movie I've personally ever seen.
Wow.
It's the kind of bad where you're like, hell yeah.
That it's awesome.
The whole time. It was a real experience getting back through that.
Sounds amazing.
Not kidding. We watched that probably like 40 or 50 times in my youth.
I'm actually excited the fact that you just watched movies. Like, you usually never really watch movies.
So when I'm home, I want to do stuff on the computer, or I have schoolwork, like I said. When I'm home, I want to be on my computer. It's what I do. And I'll watch like YouTube and stuff on the other monitor. But it's not something where I'm like, I'm going to watch a movie and like sit down and do that. I just don't have a lot of attention span for that. So when I'm working, if I can just put something out of the corner of my eye, get most of it, you know, makes it very easy to watch. And I'm not a movie critic, you know, certainly not a film aficionado or knowledgeable in any way. I just like what I like. Like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, the greatest Marvel movie ever created.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God. So I saw Ant-Man.
I saw what I believe to be from that movie, a screen cap of MODOK.
Woo, boy. Yikes.
Okay, so I haven't seen the movie.
Yikes.
I know Tori wants to see the movie, so I don't want to get into that. But I saw MODOK and I was like, this is what we're doing now.
Now, like, I'm not giving any spoilers or anything. It's just my opinion on that movie. So the critics hated it. Like, you go on all the Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Yeah.
So the critics didn't like it, but the audience score is pretty decent. So when we walked out of the theater, we were all like, you know what? That wasn't bad. That was pretty decent. I think it's because we have been dealing with so much shit from Phase 4
that an okay movie comes out like, that wasn't bad.
But the thing is, it follows a lot of the same shit that we hated about the other ones, but it's a little bit more disguised than this one, if you will.
Not as blatantly insulting?
Yeah, it's not. And I know some people will say it is like, I saw this from a mile away. No, it's not like that. The previous ones make sure that you know 100% who the girl boss is. Girl boss. This is the girl boss. She's the best at everything. They do a little teeny bit of that. Well, you know what? No.
They do a decent amount?
No, they do. They do a decent amount.
Come here.
They do a decent amount. So the MODOK, going back to MODOK, he does look horrible.
He looked real bad.
Did you see him with the cover on?
No.
Okay, so he has a metal, like a gold cover over his face. If they would have just left him like that,
probably would have been fine.
Okay, but when they,
yeah.
And it's funny because the first thing that I saw, like the first headline that I saw before we went to see the movie was, it looked like Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Spy Kids. So think about, have you seen those movies? So think about how those movies are. And it's nothing but CG, like a background, green screen, and they may be standing on one thing here and there. That's pretty much how the movie is. But the movie itself, I didn't think was terrible. But the more I think about it, it does fit with the rest of Phase 4. Like, I know it's starting Phase 5, even though I think the Marvels were supposed to start Phase 5, and they pushed that shit all the way back to November now. So they rearranged some things because I think they figured Ant-Man was going to make a little bit more money than the Marvels, which there were things I liked about it and things that I did not like about it. And once you guys go see it, then we could talk about it more. But man,
Tori said you wanted to go see it, so we'll go see it. We did see Wakanda Forever.
Oh, okay. What were your thoughts?
Spoiler alert for
Wakanda hella spoilers. If you haven't seen it. It's on Disney Plus, so y'all can watch that shit now if you haven't.
If you got Verizon, it's free. Blah, 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 blah. With certain plans. I liked it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel.
It didn't feel like disgusting pandering, which is what I was really afraid it was going to be. It felt like it had its own identity and its own story. The thing I didn't like about it was the thing that you didn't like about it, I think, the most, which was Namor and how they handled him. And, he's got to be relatable. And I thought the reason for them coming to attack was beyond contrived. The whole US subplot of, we're gonna go invade Wakanda, like, that's so fucking dumb. And I understand why it's there.
They had to throw in the colonizing. You gotta throw it in there at some point.
Yeah, and I just feel like there would have been a better way to do it, like a more believable Making it more political than resource driven, I think, would have been nice.
Okay.
But they had to have a reason for Namor to show up and be mad about stuff. I like Namor, like, as a character. I think that he came across very well. He looked good. He had a good character design. He seemed strong as shit.
Like, I don't know. It kind of fluctuated, though.
Yeah.
When they needed him to be, like, ridiculously strong.
But that's what they do. There's never a consistent metric. It's just
never.
You're as tough as you need to be until you aren't.
And so since you've watched the whole thing,
yeah,
answer this shit for me.
Sure.
I've been tossing this around in my head ever since I saw the movie, because I need to watch it again, so maybe I get my question answered. But how the hell did Shuri, of all she is not a hand-to-hand ass bitch. She's not. She's never been. Nope. But she was able to handle Namor, like, throwing bows with Namor.
I don't care.
What the fuck?
I don't care how much Black Panther serum you have. This is a man who's been alive for like 400 or 500 years.
Bro.
He's learned some shit about.
Did you see how strong he was? He was flying and holding up like ships and big ass rocks and shit.
He was doing the Captain Marvel move of blasting through ships for a while there too.
Because Black Panther, even when you drink that, you're just like Captain America. Like, you're not the Hulk or Captain Marvel. You are, at best, it's super soldier serum from Africa. That at best.
So that was dumb. Yeah.
That CG fight on the top of that ship floating thing, it looked terrible.
The CG overall seemed better than it has been in the last couple of mainline titles.
I'm tired of them using the green screen board thing.
They've patented the fucking technology. They're never going to stop using it.
I know. That's what ruined Ant-Man for me too.
Yeah. It just that like Tron Legacy kind of feeling where it's like.
But I liked it in Tron Legacy,
and it made sense in Tron Legacy.
Yeah, this shit.
I say that only to like. Tron Legacy felt very much like they were very isolated, like from everything that was going on around them. They were like in a sea of stuff that's happening. So it's really not a good comparison at all, because it fucking rocked in Tron Legacy.
Yeah,
Tron Legacy was a good movie.
I thought it was fine. People hated
Tron
it.
Legacy was a great movie.
I thought it was
fine.
And
the soundtrack, fucking
Daft Punk, man,
slaps way more.
Hell yeah! Now with the Ant-Man look. Every
screenshot or everything I've seen, it looks really busy.
It is.
There's just so much going on that you can't really get anything.
What I don't understand is, so when you go from our world to the quantum realm, when you go all the way down there, and you're supposed to be like super small,
subatomic.
The air and everything was breathable, because every 5 seconds they're taking off the goddamn mask, and that annoys me. That annoys me about the MCU in general.
Wasn't that a big thing in the second one with Wasp's mom, where she went kind of cuckoo because she had the rebreather on?
You know what? I thought, because I thought, I'm
pretty sure.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned. I need to watch that movie again, because I know there's some shit that
real forgettable.
It was. The thing that I remember the most about that movie is the advertisements for the Veloster.
Yep.
And they were advertising the shit out of that. And a buddy of mine drives one. What does it make me think of?
I'm going to redact this name from this podcast. I'm marking it with a big arm wave.
Oh, I forgot that he had one of those.
Anytime I think of the name Veloster, that's who I think of.
I forgot that he had one of those. Because my homeboy that I work with in my department, he drives a white one. So he was all like, oh yeah. He didn't go see the movie, of course, but he just liked the fact that his car was in the movie. But yeah, this movie, thinking back on, I initially liked it when I left the theater, and now thinking back,
the further you get from it,
I'm like, no.
Wakanda Forever is the first Marvel movie in a long time where distance from it has maybe been like, that was still really good.
Yeah, and I didn't like Namor because they changed him so much from his original character, and that's just me being a
purist.
Yeah, and just a fan of the original work
For sure.
And that's the problem. I know, but to companies, it is a problem.
Yeah,
people like me are a problem.
Black people.
Yes, Black people. Yes, exactly.
We've pinpointed the real problem.
But it's so weird that, if you're a fan of the original works, they for some reason they just hate you, and it's sad.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this a lot before. But it just sucks that like material that should be catered to your interests spits in the face of it almost explicitly.
But it's people like us that bought it to be able to be made into a movie.
Right.
Like if it wasn't for us nerding out, reading the comics, wearing the gear, going to the conventions.
Nobody knows who the fuck Namor is without people.
No one would know who Namor is. Like my family never was into it. Like, they weren't into comics and stuff like I was. So when they watched Wakanda Forever, which they're gonna do shortly, they're not gonna know that he was any different. And that's what Disney wants.
Like, oh, this is Namor. This is all Namor has ever been.
This is all he's ever been. And that's what Disney wants. They want to erase the past, and you only know their present and future. And I think that's kind of dirty. That's hella dirty. But that's what they do, unfortunately.
For all the failings on that front, I feel like the emotional things that they needed to handle with that movie.
That opening sequence with the funeral, that was good. I thought that was great.
I wasn't expecting to get got that early on. I was like, okay, like I'm fully bought in.
I thought that was great.
The fact that there was no music in the fucking opening or at the end was really good. I wish more movies would take advantage of dead fucking silence. So often they feel the need to put in some shitty piano medley or like some sad strings. It's like, no, silence is...
That shit was silent.
Deafening.
Yeah, I definitely love that opening sequence. The funeral thing was done so well. And the cinematography of the whole, like, showing them dancing and celebrate... Man, it was good.
Really good.
It was good. I will say that.
I did not see a single pair of J's on a telephone pole. So that's how we know it's not true to the source material.
Oh my god!
Sorry, that would be if it was Thor that died.
Yeah, if it was Thor.
Okay.
Yeah, Thor.
That's on me.
Oh my god!
I'm getting my incredibly bigoted references mixed up here.
Oh my goodness! But yeah, there were elements of Wakanda Forever that I did enjoy. And then some were just like, and then some was just like cringy really as hell.
Didn't mind Ironheart. I thought I was gonna dislike her more. She's not great, but like I didn't find her to be explicitly offensive.
Well, I found her to be explicitly offensive.
Okay.
Because just based on the Marvel
for sure
MCU. Because she has been touted as smarter than Tony Stark. And Tony Stark in the MCU, which we're watching, it's supposed to be that dude.
So the MCU has a real bad problem with this one-upsmanship as far as intelligence.
So annoying.
So it happened with the Wakandans.
Oh yeah, like when Shuri met, she was like, well, why didn't you do this, Mr. Stark, you son of a bitch?
Yep.
It's like, wait, what?
That motherfucker figured out time travel.
Yeah, what have you done, bitch? You use fucking beads.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to shut the fuck up. Is that
God damn.
And then like how the Black Panther was supposed to be one of the smartest men in Marvel, and
they ripped that out of his character and put it in her.
Right.
Yep.
The Hulk is supposed to be much smarter than they make him sciencey in the first Avengers, and then they drop it until he comes back in Infinity War. But he's really there more for like comic scientific relief.
You know, that made me mad too when they were trying to figure out all this stuff. Banner, I know Banner's specialty is not necessarily like he's in a different.
He's so fucking smart.
I know, and they just treated him like a dummy.
Yeah.
They treated him like a dummy,
it
man.
sucks when they treat smart characters like they're dumb, and that's
unless they're women,
right? Yeah, yeah.
The women, you know, they are like no one can top their intelligence. So we had Tony Stark creating shit out of a cave. He has an empire. He has created an AI. He has, you know, an AI actually came back and tried to kill everybody. You know, but regardless,
Details.
He's done all these things with nanotechnology. And then you have Shiri that's just like, oh, that's some bullshit. Yeah, I got beads on my wrist and we can do this and we can extract bullets out of motherfuckers' spines. And
I do want to say I like that the beads weren't a cure-all for everything in Wakanda Forever, the way that they had been in the previous Black Panther. But then it felt like they were really nerfed in certain situations where they would be useful. Like, it's the same problem.
Yep.
Sometimes things work the way they should, and sometimes they fucking don't. And it's
annoying. It's annoying. But I have hope for Guardians 3. Guardians 3, the Christmas special. I don't know if you've seen.
I haven't seen it yet.
It is fantastic.
Heard good things.
It is fucking fantastic. So if that's any indication, since that was like what 45 minutes or so. If you
that long?
Yeah, it's like a 45-minute little special.
Oh,
if you could make that type of environment, you actually feel for the characters. Like it's so good. It's so good.
And a Marvel property?
Yeah, because James Gunn did it.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And now he's head of DC stuff. So they're
not going to trick me into watching another Harley Quinn movie. They're not going to do it.
I would watch it with James Gunn behind it.
I know you would.
I would do it. I would do it because James Gunn, like, if you compare the first Suicide Squad to the Suicide Squad, dog.
Yeah.
Dog.
And Peacemaker is
the shit. Yeah. Like, spoiler alert, if y'all haven't seen the Suicide Squad.
I'm gonna go. That movie came out in like 2020. It's been like 3 years.
Okay.
I'm not putting up the flashing lights for that. If you haven't seen the Suicide Squad at this point.
All right, fair enough. So Rick Flag in Suicide Squad, I was like, oh, he's kind of a dick. Like, yeah, I hope Will Smith and all them light his ass up. But in the Suicide Squad, when he died, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I was hurt and I hated Peacemaker for it. I hated him. I was like, why would I want to see a series about a dude who just killed my mans in them? But now Peacemaker, like he gets the emotions. He can switch shit up. And I love James Gunn.
And can I say how refreshing John Cena is?
Yeah.
Just he's such a good comedic actor. Without it making it seem like he's being a comedic actor, he's just very naturally like everything he's doing feels like what he should be doing.
Yep.
No diss to Dave Bautista, but he's always very like, I am now reading a line of dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's funny. It still made me laugh, but
I feel like Dave Bautista, though, out of the 3 current ex-WWE wrestlers, I feel like Dave Bautista has the best range because he has done all styles. Okay. He has done comedy. He's done drama. He's like Knock at the Cabin. Oh my God. He was amazing in that shit. He was amazing in that. And he was good in the Knives Out, Glass Onion, the second Knives Out movie.
Heard that was bad.
It's all right. Yeah. I had fun with it. It's a character movie. You get invested in the characters and their zaniness, and you follow the story. Now, it definitely wasn't as good as the first one, but it was solid. I enjoyed it. But Dave Bautista just can do it all. Like, I've seen The Rock try to do dramatic shit. Nope.
What about The Scorpion King, the hit movie with Michael Clark Duncan.
So The Rock is action. So we have all three aspects of.
Yes.
So we have The Rock as action. Cena does great with comedy. And then we have Batista that can actually do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got really good range. I can't deny that. His comedy is a little flat for me, though.
It depends on the situation. I saw what is the name? Stuber. I think the movie Stuber. He was the guy that was an Uber driver, and I thought he was hilarious in that because it was the type of role that it's the person he was meaning to play. He was actually pretty hilarious in that. But Cena is the best comedian out of the three. And him as Peacemaker is awesome. He's nothing like the Peacemaker in the comics, not even close. But my thing is, if you're going to change the character, at least make it good.
Yeah.
And James Gunn, at least made it good. He changed a lot of the Guardians. The Guardians don't really act like they're supposed to, but
it's in service of a better story.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I can roll with that.
You can change things for the service of a better story. That's fine.
Yes, I can roll with that all day. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do with DC. But I mean, Guardians 3, I think that's going to be the best Marvel internal movie that has come out in the past two phases.
Damn.
Because I can't count Spider-Man because Spider-Man is a Sony product.
True.
They did it. Marvel only gets 25% of that because that's as much as they put in. They just kind of begged Sony to let Spider-Man into the MCU. So, which I'm glad they did. But they do treat my boy Spidey like he ain't shit because Spidey is smart as a bitch too.
Wait for the MCU version of Miles Morales. I can't wait.
No. They would probably put a Spider-Gwen before they put a Miles Morales. Or they would have them in the same movie.
Yes.
They would put them in the same movie, and then Peter would be pushed to the side, and it would be Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad.
Tom Holland's like, yeah, I've actually decided I'm just going to go to MIT and not be Spider-Man anymore. You guys got me here, right?
Yeah, it would be some shit like it'll be some shit like that. Yeah. And yeah, I won't have that. But I'm glad that you enjoyed Wakanda Forever.
It was great.
Yeah, it had elements that I did enjoy. It was some of the CGs did look a little weird, but Marvel is stressing out their
CG team. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It didn't feel any worse than the last couple of movies. It didn't regress any further than any of those.
Yes.
So if this is what they've decided their new minimum is, then okay.
To me, it's at the top of the shit heap. It's the best of the shit.
Thor Ragnarok is the bottom of the shit.
Well, I'm just counting phase 4.
Sorry, not Ragnarok. Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. Oh, okay.
Love and Thunder. Dog shit.
Hey,
Mufasa. Hey, you want to come here?
Your boy Doctor Strange. That's pretty rough.
Oh, it had great CG, phenomenal story.
Pretty rough, man.
Really compelling characters.
Fucking rough, man. Fucking rough. So are you going to watch the Ironheart? Since you thought Ironheart was pretty decent, you going to watch her TV show?
Hell no. I don't watch Disney Plus TV shows.
I stopped.
I watched The Mandalorian season 1 and 2, which was good.
3 is about to come out soon, too.
Probably not going to watch it.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I think that's going to be good. Jon Favreau is that dude.
Yeah, but I smell a Kennedy.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
You think she's going to completely... I hear that. Yeah, I hear some things.
I think she looked at how well Andor did. And she's like, we can't have that ever again. We can't have a good Star Wars product on Disney Plus ever again.
And nobody really watched that show. Nope. And then people say it's the best one. But people don't watch it because all the other stuff is shit. They saw Obi-Wan Kenobi and they were like, no. Anything with Star Wars and I'm not fucking with it.
Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, I want to see a bunch of kids riding around on candy-coated Vespa scooters on fucking Tatooine.
It's so terrible.
Actually, that's not anything I want to watch.
Man.
Speaking of TV shows.
Yes.
I have been watching a lot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I have too.
Really?
I have too. I really did. I just started it. I'm like maybe 8 or 9 episodes into it.
Okay, so I'm on the 42nd episode of season 2.
Yeah, because I just started that shit.
Pretty far into season 2. There's 5 seasons, so there's a lot more.
Yep, started on Netflix.
Yeah, same. It's one of the things I've been watching out of the corner of my eye. What do you think?
So I was trying to explain this to someone else because they were like, "That shit looks fruity as a bitch." That's what they said.
But the way that I described it to my friend is it's DBZ for atheists.
Yes, that's fucking perfect.
Does that make sense?
That's fucking perfect. So the opening, like the first season, the first few episodes, it's a fucking soap opera, dude. Yes. And you feel the pain when he finds the girl, the dude moves in, he fucks up their relationship. It is straight soap opera.
So just a spoiler alert. The guy who made JoJo likes to tell you that a character is bad by what he does to dogs.
Oh, shit.
Anytime there's a bad guy that shows up, he's going to do something bad to a dog.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Because you're on episode 8.
Yeah, like 8 or 9, somewhere around there.
Yeah, he's already killed JoJo's dog at this point.
Yeah, but I didn't know that was a consistent thing that's gonna happen throughout the shit.
Just keep an eye out. There's a lot of dead dogs in this series.
And wait, maybe I'm further than that. Maybe I'm not. But I know he met the guy that's gonna train him. They're supposed to train him to make him stronger.
Oh,
he already died. Yeah, he died.
Shit. So, actually,
maybe I am further than that.
No. That sounds about right. Episode 8, because he met with Zapoli. Zapoli sacrificed himself. He gets in the Hamon power. Mm-hmm. And then now they're going to the town. Did they meet up with the other guys yet?
Yes.
Okay, so they met up with the other crew that was with Zapoli. Yep. So you're basically at the end of the first season.
Okay, so it's only a few.
Okay, so it's really weird because season 1 has like 14 episodes and season 2 has 50.
I guess they did it so they were like, "Hey, do you want more episodes? We already have them done. Here, take these."
Wait, that's not true. Season 1 has. Shit, I don't even remember anymore. There's a lot of fucking episodes.
Oh, it's anime,
but yeah, it's like shonen pacing,
dude.
But the reason I say it's fucking DBZ for 8. So DBZ is always like, I've overcome this with the power of my training, and I'm gonna draw energy from the earth, and I'm gonna train in like inhuman conditions, and I am the descendant of these noble families. JoJo's like, I saw you do this, and science says that this should happen then.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's it's so corny every fucking time, but god damn do I love it.
And the animation style is so shitty, but I can't stop watching.
But it's so deliberate. It hits the tone it means to hit.
It does, man. But I couldn't get over how dramatic the opening few episodes were. It was crazy.
Where he meets REO Speedwagon.
Yeah.
Doug, the names are incredible.
It's so good.
Trust me when I say that doesn't stop.
So what made me want to watch this show? I was going
to say, what prompted it?
I'm a fighting game fanatic.
Yeah.
And he's had fighting games forever. And I'm like, people love these shits. I don't want to get into it until I know the characters. Gotcha. Because you can't in a fighting game, when you play as a person,
it's easier to get into that character if you identify with
and you know their style. Like, I know it sounds weird because they're fictional characters,
I totally get what you're saying.
You get their play style when you do that.
The reason I like Nightmare so much is because I loved Siegfried in Soul Blade back before he ever dealt with being Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
So being good with him and the story, like the storyline in the original Soul Blade. I don't know if you played, but like it was really dark for Saber. He like kills his dad, like, goes crazy and shit. So like playing Nightmare, I was like, I get why he's doing this.
Yeah,
I get where he came from. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so that's wanting to play the fighting game since they've had millions of them.
Yeah.
And people love them. And I'm like, well, I want to get into that.
It's been around since like the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was on Netflix, I was like, oh shit, I could just start watching this and get an idea of the characters. And then I got hooked. I was like, damn, I didn't know it was like this. Like, it's dramatic as shit. And the dialogue is just like a soap opera.
Yes.
The way they say shit and like get surprised from
so are you
great.
Watching it in English or are you watching?
I'm watching it in English.
Okay.
Because I wanted to feel like the melodrama in there.
Yeah, no, that definitely. I love the Japanese voice acting because in the later seasons there is a character that will often speak in English, but it's a Japanese voice actor, so he speaks really bad. Like there's certain phrases they'll speak that are in English. But with Japanese
I bet that is amazing.
Dog, it's so good, and like he's doing it on, like they're hamming it up on purpose because it's funny. But it's like it's an old guy, and he keeps like cursing, like whenever he gets really like in the moment, like something dramatic happens, he goes, "Oh my god, son of a bitch!" It's like it's phenomenal.
Oh man, that's amazing.
So I think you're gonna like it a lot,
dude.
It just gets more rad as it goes.
It's so over the top. It's a soap opera. It really is a soap opera. It's a soap opera DBZ style because they have DBZ style fights, not in the air, but like the fast punching and the dodging and the over the top vampires and shit all in there. It's good.
It gets crazier. They add in more shit that's more insane than vampires.
I cannot wait because
it's beautiful.
It's good. It's crazy that you mentioned that because I just started that.
So funny, yeah. I'm not going to spoil where I'm at because I've watched clips of this stuff before, so now I'm just like going through and actually watching everything. So I'm at a very climactic point in the second season. I think I'm basically at the end of the second season, but they had like 60 episodes leading up to it, so there's definitely some emotional payoffs.
Oh, it better be with 60 episodes. Yeah. God damn. Man, that's funny that you mentioned that. I just thought it's good.
Hey, let's play out with the Witcher TV show and why it's dog shit.
Okay.
It's bad.
It is bad.
Season 1 was good.
Season 1 was good.
Season 1, I've said this before, and I know that this is like, I'm just going to be really real with the camera here for a second. I understand that it's the internet guy thing to do, to be an unattractive white guy and say, that actress isn't hot enough. I get that. And I understand that that's a weird thing for me to get hung up on. Canonically, Yennefer is unspeakably attractive. The actress that they chose for Yennefer is very attractive. She's not unreasonably attractive, which is what Yen kind of has to be. She's very attractive, but she's not like show-stoppingly attractive, which is what Yen's whole thing was. Because, I mean, the show did a pretty good job of showing it. Like, they get to sculpt what they look like. I have a hard time believing that she would go from, like, yeah, I'm just going to take out the hunchback and, like, take the cotton out of my mouth, and I'm 10 out of 10. Like, you know, it's kind of whatever. That was really all I really didn't care for season 1. It was just, Yen was kind of But season 2, everything was bad. Start to finish, they fucked up everything. They fucked up everything. They fucked up all of the Witchers. Vesemir, Lambert, Eskel. They fucked up like Kaer Morhen. They fucked up Ciri's training. They fucked up Triss. They fucked up Yen. They fucked up everything. And it was really disappointing because season 1 felt good. It was like, oh, this is a made-for-TV adaptation of a thing that I like. I can deal with that. The second season was like, this thinks it's the MCU. This wants really badly to be the MCU, and it's not.
It's not.
The MCU isn't even the MCU anymore.
Oh, hell no, it's not. Hell no. And see, that's what he just said is coming from a person who has played all the Witcher games and knows the lore.
I've read all the books.
Yeah.
I've read all the Witcher books, translated
Played
English,
the games.
Obviously.
He's like
Played Witcher 1, beat Witcher 2 and 3.
Left it on my PS4.
I left it on your PS4. I've played like Witcher board games that have additional lore stuff in them, like the digital versions of the board games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like The Witcher as a setting, as a premise. And I don't think it's hard to nail down what makes The Witcher a compelling story. The whole point is that Geralt is an anachronism. He is a relic from a time that has since passed. The world does not need Witchers anymore. At least that's the prevailing theory. But because he is less than a Witcher and more than a man, you're always rooting for him to do the right thing. And sometimes he does, and sometimes he doesn't. But he makes his mistakes and he keeps moving. And it sucked to not get to see that at all in the second season. You never got any of the cool interactions or choices, and they didn't explain a lot of shit either, which was really upsetting. Geralt has a lot of rules. Like, Witchers, their directive is kill the monsters that happened upon our plane when the conjunction of the spheres happened.
Mm-hmm.
They were made to kill things that are not of this world. Geralt his rules are, I don't kill sentient creatures.
Okay.
That means no succubi, no fawns, no changelings, no godlings, nothing like that. Anything that can think and reason and be reasoned with, I don't kill, because there's always another way to deal with them. If there's a curse, he's always going to take the option to try and break the curse rather than kill the monster. Always. That's just how he rolls. And they explore that briefly with the Striga,
Mm-hmm.
which was well done, because that's how the original Witcher game, that's the cutscene that plays. It's Geralt fighting against Striga. And in Witcher 2, you're a direct advisor to King Foltest. You're Foltest's bodyguard because you took care of the Striga and you didn't kill her. Nice. So like it all plays into like a big momentous event. I hated what they did to Foltest. Foltest is supposed to be a douchebag. That's not my problem. He's not supposed to be an old, gross, doddering douchebag. He's supposed to be like a cunning, lean, like Machiavellian douchebag. And yeah, he banged his sister, but you know,
whatever.
C'est la vie. No, The Witcher, I don't know. It just sucks. I wanted it to be my biggest hope for shows that are based off of a property is to be able to go to someone, if you're interested in getting them into the property, and be like, I really think you'd like this. Watch this, maybe an episode or two. We can talk about it, and I can show you like what it's based off of, and you know, we can have that conversation. Having it be like a gateway to a bigger conversation about something that you're interested in. I watched the Cyberpunk TV show.
Anime.
The anime.
That shit was dope.
Really good.
That shit was dope.
And it made me want to download Cyberpunk 2077, and then I remembered that it crashed 176 times in my playthrough. And then I played it a year after it came out, and they were like, we fixed all the bugs. And I started up, and it crashed within 2 minutes of me playing, and I was like, no, you fucking didn't. So I'm probably not going to play it ever again.
I don't blame you. But that Cyberpunk show was pretty good.
But the show was really good.
The Witcher, like, I saw The Witcher when it premiered, when it first came out. So I started watching those episodes. Mm-hmm. And from a dude who really never really played the games or read the books or anything.
Was it easy to follow?
What they gave me, yes. Like what they presented, it was fine to follow. And I was like, okay, this is promising. What I was hoping for as a like regular person that doesn't know anything about it, I was hoping, because I know he kills beasts and shit. Like that's what they hype him up to do.
Yeah.
So I was hoping we would see some cool ass shit. Like him having to confront things. But, you know, I know it's going to be an overarching story, but at least in between we get some Witcher action.
And that's how the games play. It's like,
yeah. I've watched you play them shits, and the games are amazing.
You've got an overall, like, hey, this is what Geralt's here to do, but at the same time, you're a little low on coins, and the alderman in the town says, hey, we've got a fucking something's eating all of our cattle. Can you take a look at it? And you gotta look at the footprints and then figure out what kind of monster.
Speaking
and they get the right oils.
You know, the perfect pacing for that, like what I imagine in my mind, the way this show was gonna go was like The Mandalorian.
Yes,
it was gonna be just like The Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. That's the way I thought it was gonna be. And season 1, I was like, okay, they doing a lot with this Yennefer character, whoever the fuck she is, and it just spiraled out of control in season 2. Like, you barely see my mans in them do anything.
Yeah.
Like, there's some like full episodes he's in there for maybe 2 minutes to say something at the end, or go back to your room, Siri, or some shit like that. And that's it.
And again, the way they handled Ciri's training is very offensive to me, because Geralt was all for her learning how to defend herself.
Yep, I remember you telling me about that shit.
Yeah, him being militantly against it, and Lambert being the one to like push her, and Lambert being a weird redhead. No. Lambert is a weaselly-faced, receding hairline, like dark-haired, dark-humored man. And they instead got a big, boisterous, red-haired, friendly, jokey guy. Lambert is the kind, like, Lambert has the kind of humor of like a third grader, where they're gonna say it like a joke, but he's gonna say the thing that cuts you to the fucking quick, like with no hesitation. And then when you get mad about it, be like, "Oh, you're gonna cry." Ooh. Like, Lambert's a fucking douchebag.
That's
but
definitely not how they did him.
No. And then Eskel getting fucking clapped.
Oh my god!
Get the fuck out of here. Eskel, like, spoiler alert for the third game. Eskel survives the wild fucking hunt. All right. Don't come in with the, oh, we got by a Leshen. Get the fuck out of here. 4 Witchers stand against the entire wild hunt, and only one of them drops.
That's pretty badass.
2 cockatrices killed 5 fucking Witchers in the finale of season 2. Oh, these are different cockatrices. Yeah, that explains it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Being someone who knows like about the lore, it was really upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That goes to the bigger issue that we have going on now. It's, you get these writers who don't like the source material, and they use this platform as a means to elevate themselves to I don't know where the fuck they're going, but they, like, that's why Henry Cavill was like, yo, fuck this joint, like, I'm peacing out, because he's a nerd.
Yeah.
And he took the role because he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make this shit great. And he did.
I just want writers that respect the material.
Yes.
I don't think that's an unreasonable request.
No, it's not. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense why you would hire someone that doesn't respect. You're going to adapt something and you just...
It seems like explicitly picking people that don't respect the source material.
Yep. It's sad.
Which is ironic and funny, because the Polish author who wrote the Witcher books hates the Witcher games, loathes them, because he's like, that's not what I made. I made the books. That's why you like the games, because of the books that I wrote. So the books are way better than the games. But he's like a billion years old, doesn't understand like multimedia, multimodal, communication. We're basically harping about the same thing. He thinks the people who made the games don't respect the source material, when it's like, no, they play exactly like your fucking books, buddy.
Yeah, like from what you told me, it's like...
It's real close.
Like, it's super, super close. They would have to change a few things just for gameplay reasons, and
depending on how things fall out, the copyright reasons too, because most of the Witcher stories are based off of fairy tales and folklore. So I can't think of a really good example at the moment, but I know that a lot of the stories are like the Beast guy in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Beauty and the Beast, right? funny enough, that character is based off of a character in the third game, drastically different, but their crime is the same. If you remember what they did to get them cursed, that's the same. Okay. So basically you run into an immortal werewolf that's like, I'll kill you and fuck your body, and like, and then you kill him and he's like, I can't actually die, idiot, see you in a couple minutes, and then he comes back and he keeps fighting you, and then you find out what he did, you know, to the temple and the priestesses, and you base the option of breaking the curse and letting him die a final death. He's like, oh yeah, that's sick as hell, appreciate that, dude. Finally I can like be my mortal self and go pillage the realms. You're like, I'm actually super gonna kill you.
Yeah, I'm
but it's cool because the game gives you options. Like you can either break the curse, or you can leave him in the loop forever, or you can like break the curse and let him go, even though he says he's gonna do awful, terrible things. Or you can break the curse and kill him. Like, I don't know. They didn't explore any of the times that Geralt has options. It felt like they always put him into a situation where he had no wiggle room. And that sucked. There was never a time where you were like, that's an interesting choice that Geralt made. It was always like, he kind of got forced into this. Like, the thing with Renfrey, right? There's never a choice.
Never really a choice.
That's offered to him there. Like, oh, you're going to murder a woman who's not attacking you? Like, that's not what Geralt's going to do. Oh, but you go to the town and a bunch of cutthroats attack you and you defend yourself, and then she comes up and she refuses to back down whatsoever. Like, there's never any wiggle room for Geralt to do what Geralt does best.
I just don't understand, man. I don't understand why it has to be.
He's a really simple character, in my opinion. There's not a lot of moving parts to what makes Geralt a fun character to like watch. And they missed the mark, and they tried to uplift and expand other characters that are not interesting. Yennefer has one goal ever: more power. That's all she gives a shit about. She wants power on her own terms. She doesn't want to be beholden to the guild, or the society, or the brotherhood, or whatever. She doesn't want to be beholden to Geralt. She doesn't want to be beholden to anything. She wants more power for herself, full stop. She will do whatever she has to do to get more power. The wish that links the two of them is the only thing that keeps her from offing Geralt multiple times, because Geralt stops her from doing some of her more egregious bullshit. So, I really didn't like that they tried to make Yennefer relatable or likable in any way, because she's not good.
No.
And they didn't get, like, what I wish they had done is they had cut the screen time for Yennefer by 3/4 and given 1/4 of that to Triss, and then the other half back to Geralt.
Yeah.
So Geralt gets to flesh himself out. You get to see Triss, you get to see Yennefer, because those are the two opposite ends of the spectrum of being sorceresses. Yennefer is fully self-centered. She just wants power. She wants to use. She wants to abuse. She wants what she wants. Triss is like full humanitarian. Like, I'm going to sacrifice myself to help people. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to like work with the underground to get mages out of the city so they don't die. Those are the two ends of the wizardess sorceress spectrum. And they're like, we're not going to explore that. It's just Yen. Because you don't have a differing perspective, like that you
care.
Like you don't get to make the choice for yourself.
Yeah.
Because in the games, you get to choose more often than not who you side with, who you align your goals with. I don't know. I feel like they squandered some pretty obvious opportunities. Now, it might sound weird to be talking about choice in a fixed medium like a show. Like, obviously, it's not a choose your own adventure show.
No, but I know what you mean.
Right, but presenting the characters with multiple choices so that the audience isn't immediately like, oh, well, he's going to have to do that because that's the only thing that's going to be there. Like, letting it be a little ambiguous from time to time.
Because if he'd let certain things go, you can always bring them back in another episode later down the line and tie it all together. It's just storytelling. And
that's actually how the Witcher games work. You can import your save from the second game to the third game, and there's some really big choices you can make that have a huge impact on how the third game plays out.
I don't know, man.
So spoilers real quick for the second game. The opening cutscene of the second game is a single Witcher assassin jumping on a boat and murdering everyone on it. He kills a bunch of people, and including the king of the country that he's in. So he fully kills a king. That's the subtitle of Witcher 2 Kingslayer, right?
Okay.
So it's all about there's a Witcher going around killing different kings. And Geralt is Foltest's bodyguard. The Witcher comes and he kills Foltest while Geralt is trying to guard him. Geralt gets pinned because they're like, a Witcher did this. And he's the Witcher that everyone knows.
So you could do a season of that, man.
And,
oh my God.
And Letho, who is the Snake School, or maybe, Snake School Witcher, incredible. They describe him as a mountain of a man. He's this, think like bigger than The Rock. He's just fucking huge, but he's so nimble. And he like dances around with 2 daggers. He's like,
oh shit.
He's a wonderful, and he's got like this really like gravelly, I fucking love Letho. He's great. Even though he's a horrible murdering bastard, but he's great. But at the end of the second game, you have to fight Letho, and you get the option of like, I'm going to kill him, or I realize his strings are being pulled by someone else. I'm going to let him go. If you let him go, he shows back up in the third game. You help him fake his own death to get rid of some of the bounty hunters that are after him, and then he'll help you fight the Wild Hunt later on. Oh, and there's like extra dialogue and shit you get to do.
Tight.
And he's a dope ass character, so of course, like, it was nice to have him come back. There's different sorceresses you can kill in the course of the second game because there's this big political upheaval at the end of the second game. And if you don't kill them, they can come back to be interacted with in the third game. So like there's cool interactions. Like these characters that they're talking about, I wish they did more with Dijkstra, because Dijkstra is probably my favorite Witcher character of all time. He is a spy master for King Radovid, which is what you saw him doing.
Yep.
But he's a fucking lunatic. He's just a completely unhinged, paranoid, like, sociopath. He's really fun to watch when he's pointed in other people's direction. Whenever he looks at Geralt, it's never good. Yeah. But when Geralt has to deal with him, like they have a common enemy or something, it's a lot of fun to work with him. So,
dog, but they will never. They don't care. They don't care about any of that, dude. They don't care about that. They don't care about it. They have their agenda on what they want to push out. They're just using that medium to do it. And it's sad.
And I'd like to say, I think they over-sexualized Yennefer.
Yeah, they try to make her like extra sexy.
Like, and they made like most of her motivations seem sexual in nature. Yennefer doesn't care about sex. She cares about power, and power is sex. Sex is power. I get that, but they never really seem to make the distinction in the show. There's like, Yennefer's mad horny all the time, and like, that's really not. That's not what she is. She's seeking power. Sex is a means to an end. And I wish they'd explored that a little bit more. Like, there's no reason for her to like conjure an orgy in the middle of the town she took over. Right?
The fuck was that?
It just felt weird because it was like, you're trying to introduce Yennefer as like this master seductress. And really, she's just an incredibly competent sorceress. She's really good at murdering people. The opening of Witcher 3, the cutscene that plays, she kills a bunch of dudes on a battlefield. Like, she's trying to get through enemy lines. And so she ends up like running into a couple people. She blasts a dude's eye out of his head by running a bird through it at high speeds. Like, she has like a familiar raven and it blasts through the back of his head and blows out the front of his head.
See, that could have been a dope girl boss moment.
And like, that's the thing, is the stories and the games have moments that uplift the female characters and give them agency and make them incredibly powerful. Geralt gets okey-doked by so many fucking women so many times. And like,
because it's like real life, dog.
There's usually sex involved, which is great, but it's really funny. Like, I don't know, I always get enjoyment out of it where Geralt's like, oh, this incredibly hot woman like wants to sleep with me, yeah, I'll do it. And then he wakes up, he's like, oh shit, I got again. Like, and it never gets old for me because like, Geralt, buddy, you've been alive like 100 years. Like, you gotta fucking learn the trick at this point.
Yeah, man, it's like listening to you explain a lot of the stuff and then seeing you play the game, watching that show was like, oh yeah, this is definitely not.
It was a little upsetting.
I went into it to see Geralt, like see him do some dope shit.
It's supposed to be the Geralt show.
Yeah, it is. It is supposed to be his show, and it's not his show. And it just. And are you gonna watch the Witcher or Blood Origin?
Hell no.
You should. I need to know. I need you to watch it.
I don't even. I saw that Yarpen Zigrin is one of like the main like characters. I didn't like what they did with Yarpen.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that show. Doesn't have Geralt.
Or is it Yarpen or is it Zoltan? It's Yarpen Zigrin and Zoltan Chevet. I just don't know which one of the two was being portrayed in the TV show.
Remember. They got me because I was like, oh shit, Michelle Yeoh is in it. Then I was like, but wait a minute though. This is a spin-off of a show that I don't like. Like
you know who Michelle Yeoh was supposed to be?
I don't know. No. I saw the trailer and it doesn't really tell you anything. And I've never watched it.
I might have to research it to see if it's actually relevant to anything that I give a shit about.
She could be a made-up character for all I know.
I mean, she might be, but that's dog shit because there's so many good characters that they haven't tapped into yet.
And this is supposed to be this takes place before all this stuff. So this is like the origin of the Witchers. That's what it's supposed to be about. It's a prequel.
Gross.
Yep, it's a prequel.
Well, the reason I don't like that is because they've already glorified the origin of the Witchers in the second season, where Vesemir's like, we gotta bring the Witchers back. Let me get some of that elder blood. And that's
why it's called Blood Origin.
Okay, that's dog shit because that's not how Vesemir feels about the Witchers at all.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, it's disappointing. Like everything nowadays is just disappointing.
Hey, you know what's not disappointing? The King's Guard, right? And the Tiger Claw tactic employed therein.
Man, you need to play Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, I do. I absolutely do.
You need to play that game.
Thankfully, fingers crossed, knocking on wood, still have not gotten any major spoilers other than the one that my friend sent to me, which I was very pissed off about.
I haven't said, that's why I haven't said anything to you.
So a friend of mine sent me a gameplay video and he had a companion with him that I was like, that shouldn't be your friend. And I was like, motherfucker. I was like, like I really kind of wanted to go into it blind. And then I was like, fuck, that sucks. But
you need to play it, man.
I do.
I
just don't have a PS5. That's
you
really...
play on PS4?
Yeah, it smells like poor. No stacks, no bitches.
I mean,
no PS5.
But you need to like.
I do.
It's the experience. It was made for both, so it's gonna run beautifully on.
I really
PS4.
want it on my PC. That's where I want it.
You had to wait like a fucking year or two. You know, you wait forever for that shit.
I'll just never use the internet ever again.
It's so good. Like when I first started playing it, I was like, this just feels like DLC because it's just like 2018's God of War. It's just like it. And you even revisit some of the same places. But the goddamn story, like the end, I'm like holding the controller, tearing up, watching the cutscenes. Oh, it's
always a good feeling.
It is fantastic. And it's fun as a bitch to play. Of course, you know that.
You know a game that I tear up during the credits of? Elden Ring, because I can finally stop playing such a dog shit game. And I figured that was coming. That's where we're gonna wrap it the fuck up. Run a little, not too long, not too short either.
Yeah, we haven't done one in months. So
got some lost ground to make up.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us for the 9th episode, I think, of the Circles of Trust podcast. Hopefully you're seeing this within the week that we've recorded it. If I'm not a lazy shit, wouldn't bet on that. I'll make sure to include links and spoiler alerts and stuff where it is necessary. And yeah, if you got any questions or anything, anything you want to see on the show, we're we're two dudes next to my big gay guts.
Guts is the man.
Yeah.
Guts is the man.
But yeah, as you can see, we got the social media stuff all around. If you want to reach out to us, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. I hope we see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.